Okay, so this is the Compass game. The War, Europe, 1939, 1945. Game designer Ernest Copley. Game development Paul Shackleton, and graphic design by Mark Mahaffey. Apologize if I messed up your last name, Mark. Okay, so I am new to this game. I've been posting on the forums on Board Game Geek under the name Happy New Year 1945. And here I am today. So, just like any good report, I guess I should start at the best place, the beginning. And I'm doing this to get mistakes corrected, as well as learn the game, because this game is great at first blush, and I look forward to playing it wholeheartedly. Okay, so this is the Poland scenario. So Germany is a first-rate nation. Their army's first-rate. Their air force is first-rate. At this point in time, I don't know if there is a difference. If an air force can be first-rate and your army can't, and vice versa. That being said, we will place our units. So these white lines are the borders. There's Germany, East Prussia, and Germany, and Poland. So, according to the rules, fighters can base on clear terrain, and Hex 1623 looks clear to me. And TACs can base in cities or air bases, so we're going to put this TAC in Breslau. And we are going to put this TAC bomber on an air base, and this TAC bomber on an air base. I also forgot to mention that Poland sets up first, and I've put a 4-5 unit in Warsaw because the goal is to take Warsaw, and the other 4-5 unit I put in Hex 1521 because Warsaw is surrounded by water on all sides except for this one. So I want, as the Polish player, I want Germany to have to struggle to get its victory city. So that is what we're aiming at with the Polish setup. Anyways, back to Germany. Okay. And they have one MDM bomber, and they can base in cities or clear terrain as well. So I am putting it in Leipzig. Now for the ground units. There's already a 6-5 here. That's fine. But I'm thinking sort of ahead, and Germany sets up first, and being this is a learning scenario, so whatever. I don't fully understand AV, so I might do something stupid here. So my plan, from what I learned, is I want to do 2 automatic victories in my first impulse movement phase against this 2-5 infantry and this 2-6 cav. So I'm going to create 2 stacks of units, and I can have 3 chits, or for sake of argument, I'll call them units. But this number here is factor, and this is movement. So like this is an 8-factor armor unit that can move 8 spaces. So in my 2 starting positions, for sake of argument or whatever, we can call this Army Group A and Army Group B. So Army Group A will have an 8-8 armor, a 4-8 mech, and a 6-5 infantry. And Army Group B will have likewise. Okay. So this is the scenario. So A says initial determination of supply status. That's what we're going for right there. Oh, in the game it says Germany starts with an SLE, so according to what I've read in the rule book, an SLE can supply any unit anywhere on the board. So we're just going to go ahead and not worry about that. Next is B, build and or dismantle, rebuild air bases, stage air units. See section 11.21. Well, I don't think we have to worry about staging any air units or rebuilding any air bases because we haven't moved up. I'm actually not 100% about that, but I have stuff to learn. Okay, phasing player performs counter air missions. Now here I suppose I could send attack to counter air, or my fighters even to counter air this, but I don't 100% know how that works. So I'm just gonna go on with my plan, and then somebody can correct me after. Okay. So G is phasing player may break down any eligible whole ground units into breakdown units or build up ground units into armies. Well, we're not going to be doing any of that for the sake of this playthrough. Okay, M. Phasing player conducts first impulse ground unit movement, including execution of AV attacks, which is what we're going for. Offensive air support, OAS, may assist. Defensive air support, DAS, may intercept. Conduct first impulse airborne assaults. Okay, airborne assaults are with paratroopers, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I'm not 100% sure why that's here, unless this bomber can move a guy, like a 6.5 infantry. Okay, anyways, so first impulse ground movement. So as I said before, these two stacks, I'm going to try and do AVs. So as it is, each of these stacks, and the rules say you can move a unit or a stack one at a time. So each of these stacks have 18 factors of units in them. So 1, 2, and this is a double count because an AV counts as 2 moves. So again, that's 1, 2, 4. And here, that will be, you guessed it, 2. I'm going to send the fighters here. So that's, they can only move 3, so 1. I'm going to send the medium bomber from Breslau, 1, 2, 3, 4, to support this stack, because MDM bombers, or medium bombers, provide 2 column shifts to the right for the attackers. So if this stack was 4-to-1 odds right now, it's 6-to-1 odds with that bomber. And each tack bomber can make a column shift of 1 to the right up to a maximum of 2, if I'm not mistaken. So if I send 2 tacks there, it will provide 6-to-1 odds that I'm looking for in that stack as well. Okay, so the Polish, though, they're gonna fly defensive air support against one of these, and me being a sporting man, I'm going to roll a die, and evens, it'll go here. Odds, it'll go here. Okay, odds, it's going here. So it's going after the one with the fighter. Okay, so that worked out in our favor. I think everything has to fight, and then whatever survives continues through, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So this tack is going to fight against these guys. So we look up our air combat table, which I have printed but not ready. Just give me a sec. a C. Air to air. Okay, found what we're looking for. Okay. Air to air combat results table. Odds. Wait, how come this? Air-to-air combat results table, 4 or more. These appear to be the same charts, only this one's bigger. Okay, well, we'll go with the bigger one. And this is table 7.91, and this is table 11.9. I do not know the difference. This one's just bigger, so we'll go with that one. Okay. So put that down. Okay, well, I'll show it after. Okay. So, well, this one's easier for the camera. Okay. So, okay, plus minus 2 if player's forces contains NAC, TAC, or MDM air units. Unfavorable modifier. Okay. So, fighters, each friendly fire. Okay, so I have a. Germany has a. Germany has a medium bomber and a TAC. So I have a -3 modifier, and Poland has a tactical bomber, so they have a +2 modifier. So my net result is a -1 modifier, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so -1 die roll modifier. The current odds are 4-1. 3 fighter factors, 1 bomber factor against a DAC factor. So I will roll my die, and I have a -1 modifier. So die roll -1. Okay, it's a 3, which is good. So that means I got a 2 in the 4-1 column. We look at the 2, and I got a DE3. What's a DE3? Defender intercepting player loses 2 MDM TAC fighter or NAC units. So this TAC is just wasted. I don't even think it's depleted. I just think it's gone because it doesn't mention anything about depleting. So that's toast. Goodbye. Okay. So these fighters, I guess, fly back to here for some reason, but I'll just I'll move them here. They only have 1 movement left, but I don't know what to do 100%. Anyway, we will do our ground combat. Oh, I forgot to send this TAC. Whatever, we'll just say I didn't. That one never left the airbase. Okay. So the bomber survived. So it's going to go through, and it provides a column shift. So this is done. That unit's toast. So those guys are there. Bomb is returning to Leipzig. These fighters will return there. And considering that attack is no more, these guys have the green light to do likewise. So that AV is complete. Cav is dead. These tacks fly back to their respective places. This stack moves. Now we want to remove this 4-5. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I can use my air for actual combat, but whatever. We'll see. Now what we are gonna do is we're gonna attack this 4-5 with everything. So that, remember I said that was 18 factors each. So that becomes 36 factors against 4, which is doubled. So that's 8. So that's 4-1 odds. Wait, no. 36. Yeah, that's 4-1 odds because you got to round up. So I mean that'd be 4 times 8 is 32. So we have 36 factors, but because you have to round down, you can't round up. Like I can't make it 40 to make it 5-1. So it's 4-1. So then we look at our ground combats, and oh fuck, for the Air Force roll I forgot about the first rate attacker. Anyways, I won't forget that for the ground combat. Poland is a third rate army and Germany is a first rate army, so I get a favorable -3 modifier. So the worst I can roll in the 4-1 column is a DR. And a DR is defender must retreat all units in the target hex 2 hexes in the direction of his nearest supply source. Okay. And I'm sure, but anyways, so here we go. We put our battle marker on the 4-5 and we roll. Okay, I got a 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. That is, in the 4-1 column, a DE. And a DE is probably what it sounds like. That is defender eliminated. Okay. So the defender is gone. And I don't have the markers all out of the bags. Okay, and because the combat involved fully supplied armor unit, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to stack up to 6 units in this breach hex. So I will stack every single unit that participated, or not every single unit. The infantry will stay back. My armor and mech will advance, and I think I can do that. So now second impulse movement. The only units Germany has for second impulse movement are, I think it's second impulse movement. Resolve first impulse, non-phasing player, flak, fire. Yeah, I don't get that. Our phasing player announces first impulse, non-phasing player. Commit reserves. Crap, I forgot about the reserves. It doesn't say whether or not I can do a second impulse AV. So, okay, I'm not sure if I can, but either way, since I screwed up the reserves, I will just commit a reserve right now to make it fair, because I want to run a good war. So that's what we will do. I just gotta find my reserve bag. Shouldn't be too hard. They gotta be here somewhere. And that's not them. That's not them. Hey, found them. Okay. Well, Poland has a 2-5 there, so we'll just pretend, for the sake of argument, that this guy has been like that the whole time. So Germany, I don't know if I can do a second impulse AV here. I don't know where all the fighters and planes for Poland are doing, if that TAC is supposed to be around or whatever. But anyway, so again, I'm not sure if I can do a AV the second impulse, so I'm just going to assume I can't. So we'll skip to Y. Phasing player announces all second impulse attacks. So we are obviously going to attack the big bad Warsaw. And what we are going to be attacking it with is 24 factors combined with an MDM, because we no longer have any aircraft to worry about. And I believe the maximum column shifts to the right we can see are 2. And I think because it's a second impulse attack, and because we are attacking out of a breach, I think the Germans get we get to use a Schwerpunkt marker, and all their attacks with the -3 for being a first rate get a further, it'll be -4 because you get an added -1. So and I don't know if you can commit a reserve. Anyways, I don't know if you can commit a reserve. So that'd be 6. So it's 12. So this is what we're saying the Battle of Warsaw is going to be. It's going to be this. It's going to be 6 times 2. Shit, I don't know if a city counts. It might be 6 times 3. It might be 18. Okay, so let's just say it is 18. So this is 24 to 18. So that's 1-to-1 with 2 column shifts to the right. So ground combat 1-to-1. So that'd be a 3-to-1. 3-1 at -4 odds. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so the worst I can roll is a half exchange. The defender removes all his units. The attacker must eliminate half as many factors. And for me to be successful, I can't lose anything. But for the purposes of learning the game, I don't really care. So yeah, the worst I can roll is a 6. It's a 5. So that's a DR. Defender must retreat all units in the target hex 2 hex directions. Okay, so none of my units are destroyed. I think I have to obey stacking rules, so 188 armor will stay there. And 3 units will advance. And Warsaw was captured. Thank you. Stay tuned for more videos.